Hey guys, welcome to 6 Minutes for Monday, November 21st. Jason Fulmore, SE Wrestle, and today we are talking 6 takeaways from the weekend of November 18th and 19th. Ton of wrestling all around the Southeast. No way that we're going to be able to cover everything. So we're just going to touch on a few things. If you're interested, the results from all of the ones I was able to find are posted on the website. You'll be able to go and click on them, and in some cases they recorded the matches, and you'd be able to go and watch those matches if you have a subscription service to Flow or Track. In some cases you'll simply see the brackets, and you'll have to kind of figure it out from there, and you might be able to pull up the actual match itself to see who scored what takedown when, blah 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 blah. But anyway, my point is that we've got 10 minutes to cover 6 takeaways, so let's get right to it. Takeaway number 1, shout out to the boys from Louisiana, Turlings Catholic, as well as Catholic, and I think it was Jesuit, I could be wrong, ventured over from Louisiana to the Gulf Coast Clash in Alabama, and that seems to be the meeting place for Louisiana, Alabama, and a handful of Georgia schools very early in the season, and the Gulf Coast Clash did not disappoint again. You can go to the website again and see the breakdown of who won what weights and all those sorts of things. But Turlings Catholic topped number 1, 7A number 1, Thompson, to take the title. Also, they had a girls' tournament. Daphne was took the title. Thompson was second in the girls' tournament. And love to see that all the girls' tournaments that are popped up all over the state of Alabama and North Carolina. Both of them are making a real push to get as many girls out and competing and everything else, which is fantastic. So that is takeaway number 1. But let's go just a little bit deeper and talk a little bit about this match.
Hey, we're fine. We're chilling. It's all normal. We have the win. We could have been done with this match. Shut up to me. Hey, be nice. Be quiet to me. I'm hungry. What's your beer? What? I've never been.
So this was a matchup of Aiden Knight versus Carson Freeman. Sorry, Carson. Carson and Knight, the two of them are the best 170 pounders in the state of Alabama. They met in the finals at 170 pounds, with Knight taking the win in overtime. One of the many really good matches in the finals at the Gulf Coast Clash. If you get a chance to go watch those, I watched all of them. Definitely one to watch. The other thing I was going to talk about as it relates to the Gulf Coast Clash is a shout out to Justin Harbin of Brookwood in Alabama. Justin was unseeded at 113, came all the way through the bracket, and took the title at 113. Always love to see bracket busters and unseeded wrestlers make their way through the bracket, beating seeded wrestlers along the way to take that title. So shout out to Justin and to Aiden Knight on his win over Carson Freeman, and more importantly to Turlings Catholic on a really, really good tournament for them in taking the title. All right, let's now jump over to Georgia, and one of the top tournaments of the weekend in Georgia was the Raja Bryan Memorial Invitational at Ola High School. We saw Social Circle, we saw Ola, we saw Lee County, we saw many, many good programs up and down the lineup at the tournament. And yeah, Social Circle, little 1A Social Circle, ended up claiming the team title. Now, I want to go ahead and put it's not an asterisk, but you have to keep this in mind. We are still very early in the season in all of the states across the Southeast. So there are people that are still getting down to weight. There are still wrestlers who are playing football or whatever the case is, maybe another fall sport or another fall activity. So not every program is 100% yet, but you go to war with the wrestlers that you have, and Social Circle topped Ola to take the title. That's a big win. That's a big win, no matter when you get it. Lee County, they had 3 champs. They had the most champs of anyone in the tournament. Carol Alalde at 113, Riley Brewer at 138, and Aiden Chilson at 175 all claimed titles for Lee County. So shout out to them. Shout out to Social Circle, Ola for putting on a great tournament. And yeah, that was takeaway number 2. Let's jump to now takeaway number 3. And let's just head up the road a little bit, not too very far, to Buford, the Buford Invitational. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't been in Buford's gym, you're missing out because it is absolutely beautiful. It is a beautiful facility, and Buford really came to wrestle. They wrestled exceptionally well. They have 5 individual champs, plus a ton of other placers, and they took the title over some really, really good teams as well. What to notice? What stood out for me as I was looking through the brackets, because I didn't get a chance to get up to Buford. Number 1, Woodward Academy. Yeah, Michael Killick, Matthew Singleton, all of those, Gunnar Filipowicz, they're all now gone. They've moved on to other to their college careers and everything else. But we saw Robbie DeHaven and Tanner Spalding both wrestle exceptionally well, take home titles. If they can get a few more around those two, Woodward Academy might be a team that can make some noise in 6A. All right, let's see. A couple other things. Marley Washington beat Gavin Pope 7-5 to take the title at 144. Emil Necula beat Jace Parent 3-2 at 150. Some really, really good matches, some really good brackets. But the bracket that was probably the best and the best weight, in my opinion, was 190. And that's where we saw Hope Hogan from Commerce beat Connor McCloskey 5-2. And 190 didn't stop there. 190 had some really, really talented wrestlers that will definitely be on the podium at the end of the season. So really interesting to see a 190-pound weight class very early in the season being super competitive, and that's pretty awesome. All right, so now takeaway number 4. Let's just move 2 states up, cross over South Carolina, on our way to Mallard Creek. And Mallard Creek took the title at the Rough Edge Rumble over Mount Pleasant and Central Cabarrus. And the thing that stood out to me about this tournament was that from, I think it was 120 to 145, we were talking just absolute hammers. I mean, you had Cam Stinson, Jackson Baglio, Charleston Baglio, Joey Baisley, David McEachran. I mean, you had kids who have won state titles, and they're winning this tournament. So if you happen to be in one of those weights, you were probably going to have a heck of a battle on your hand to try to take the title at the Rough Edge Rumble in North Carolina. And also, and I don't usually do this, but because we are talking about Mallard Creek, Cam Stinson, congratulations on your commitment to the University of North Carolina, which I think you made just a day or two prior to this weekend's tournament. So fantastic. I know you're going to do great up in Chapel Hill, and but you still got business to attend to for Mallard Creek. You took care of it this weekend, and it was a really, really good tournament on paper. Number 5, and this is the last takeaway for the high school, and that is, I mean, Union Pines might have won the toughest tournament, maybe the toughest tournament this weekend in the Southeast. I'm not 100% sure, but if you just simply look at the teams that were there, I mean, Union Pines beat Pinecrest, beat Piedmont, beat Cardinal Gibbons, and Lake Norman to take the Viking Invitational title, and that's their home tournament. But it was fantastic. They wrestled super well. Coaches across the North Carolina area told me that Union Pines was a team to watch this year. Definitely showed out this year, or this weekend, as they took that title. And a couple shout outs. Number one, Maynard Ramos of Southview, Jaden Dobeck of Pinecrest, and Liam Hickey of Cardinal Gibbons. They dominated their weight classes. And one of the things I always look for, not only who was seated low and came through the bracket, but I also look for those individuals who put up those team points for their program. And all three of those put up 26 team points for their teams and on their way to their individual titles. So shout out to them. And last but not least, takeaway number 6, the college action this weekend was absolutely crazy. It was a lot of fun to watch. We saw the Keystone Classic. We saw the Black Knight Invitational. On Friday, I was in Greenwood, South Carolina on Friday night. Got to watch Lander, which is a top 10 D2 school, beat top 5 NAIA school, Southeastern, in a duel, which was great. I've been posting videos of that over the last few days. You had the Life Invitational, and then you had wrestlers that are competing lots of places all over the country who have ties to the Southeast. Trying to track them all down is super difficult, and trying to figure out how they're doing and everything else. But there was a lot of action. If you missed it, you should definitely go back and catch all of that action. I believe one of the two, Black Knight Invitational or the Keystone Classic, was streamed on Flow. But before we get to that, how cool is this trophy from the Black Knight Invitational? Gabe Hicksonbaugh from Campbell won 133 pounds. And this is what every one of the champions got at the Black Knight Invitational. You also saw Johnny Lovett of Central Michigan, who took second at 149. And then down at the Keystone Classic, it was wild. We had Cooper Flynn losing to Eddie Ventresca at 125. 2 Virginia Tech teammates, again, battling it out. They're basically neck and neck. It will be really interesting to see who emerges as the 125 for Virginia Tech. Sam Latona, boy, he just turned it on. Took the 133-pound title. John Miller from App State won the 149-pound title at the Keystone Classic, and he did so over Caleb Henson, who took 3rd, Jack Crook, who was 6th, Anthony Artelona took the 157-pound title, Cody Bond of App State was 4th, and then Will Miller from App State, formerly Thompson High School. And this is a shout out and a tip of the cap to Thompson, because as I just read all these names, we saw Gabe Hicksonbaugh, we saw Sam Latona, we now see Will Miller, right? Thompson has produced some absolutely great kids, great wrestlers, great people, but they are continuing on and wrestling at a fantastic high level. Will Miller, who I saw a week and a half ago compete against NC State, he wrestled tough. He went out and took care of business and won the 174-pound title at the Keystone Classic and wrestled super, super well. So really, really good weekend for a lot of Southeast Hammers across the country in college. And, ton going on. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving this week, and can't wait to see all the results pour in over the next few days and this coming weekend as we get ready for another week. And tomorrow we drop the hammers, so make sure that you check back and look for whether a coach submitted who they submitted from your school as a name to be recognized. All right, you guys have a good one. Take care. Bye.